Just, I'm
Here we go. Hi, Paul Slack. It's Good News Planet. I'm with Gregory. Your last name, Gregory?
Gregory Gallo, Gallo.
Oh, wow. Okay, I have a good friend with that last name as well. So, congratulations to you. I'm going to go right to the medal for running the marathon.
Well, thank you.
That's exciting, right?
It's very exciting, and New York's the most exciting of all.
Now, you would know because actually I met you yesterday at my home where we had a party for Halloween, and our good friend, mutual friend, Gene Fish introduced us, and he said, my good friend Gregory has run 50-something marathons. Now, what's the deal here?
Well, New York this year was 54, and it was 12 New Yorks for me, and a whole lot of others. I keep going back to the same cities, so I don't have a long list of cities, but.
What inspires you? What's inspired you initially, and how come you've stuck with this so long?
Well, I have some disabilities, and I just refuse to give in and become a couch potato, and I just want to overcome those disabilities and accomplish something and prove to other people that they can do the same sort of thing if they really want to.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you have, you seem like you can walk okay and everything. I guess, obviously, you can go that distance.
Well, my disabilities don't really show when I have my clothes on. So
Okay.
I have, I guess the main...
We'll keep it that way at this moment.
Okay.
All right, so you have some disabilities, and have you had those? 54 is, you've been doing this for how long?
17 years.
17 years, 54. Wow, that's a lot. So that's like 3 marathons a year? 4 marathons?
Sometimes more, because in 2001 I broke my hip, and I was in the hospital and convalescing at home for a whole year. So that year doesn't count. But
the nerve of that year.
Yeah, but the thing of it was, once again, I saw it as a challenge, and as soon as I was able, I came back to New York and did the New York Marathon 2002.
Wow. So what goes on in your mind? Well, first of all, what training do you do?
The training, I don't, people shouldn't hear this because I don't train properly. I do 6 miles twice a week.
6 miles twice a week, and I think that the marathon is something like 27.
It's 26.2.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that's not as much as that's not a lot.
No, it isn't. But I've always gotten away with it somehow. I keep coaching. When I meet people that tell me it's their first marathon or something like that, I say, more than a physical struggle, it's mental. You just have to have insane determination, because your body keeps telling you to stop, and you have to overcome that and go through it. There's always pain here and there, at least for me, my age and everything.
Do you have inspiration around you? Now, day one, 17 years ago, when you started doing this, was there something? Was it the disability, or were there other people saying, why don't you give this a try? Maybe this will be healthy for you.
Well, I don't know so much healthy, but I was 54, and I had been running little short distances just for recreation for a bit, and I just thought, if I'm ever going to try this, I better do it pretty soon. So I did the 97 New York, and it was actually probably the most grueling one I ever did. It rained all day, and it was really awful, but I think most people would have said they didn't want to do it anymore. But it's addictive to me. It's.
What was your profession, if you don't mind me asking?
Okay, I was the county sewer inspector for Broome County for 28 years.
New York State?
Yes. Binghamton. Binghamton's the county seat. I live near there.
So, the sewer inspector?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to say you had a smelly job, I guess, but I don't know. Is that kind of a job? What kind of a job is the sewer inspector do? Well, I'm sorry.
Well, quite a bit of it is inspecting materials and pipe grades and so forth on new construction, so it's really not that bad. But there's some troubleshooting, and we use tracing dye and things like that to find breaks. And
Some of our water system, water, drinking even water, right, goes through our sewer system, and they clean it, cleanse it, and reutilize it, right? Is that so? I think so.
Well, it's a cycle. I could just use our example. Our sewage goes into the Susquehanna River, and whatever Elmira downstream, they have to clean it up and drink it.
Okay. All right. All right. That's that story. Well, how do you feel today? So today's the day after.
Today's the day after, and I feel remarkably well. I was worse last time. I did Chicago 3 weeks ago, and I was a lot stiffer than I am right now.
In the future, you're going to continue?
Oh, I'll be back here next year.
All right. What's good news for you, Gregory? What's good news?
Good news. I have a family here in New York City, and I also travel with them to Chicago and Detroit and do marathons, and that's the Achilles International. I've been with them for many years, and they've been very kind to me. I do minor fundraising for them, but they pay me back 1,000 times with their kindnesses.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm going to ask you one last question because we're very involved with world peace and trying our best to achieve it and have a party, since you came to my party on September 21st. So what does peace mean to you? We're trying to get the whole world involved with this. A day of peace.
I think there's a saying that peace is more than the lack of war, that it's people living in harmony, in toleration. I was in the military. Fortunately, I never had to draw a gun in anger. I was lucky. I didn't want to. But peace is something I think is very, very difficult to attain. But it should be the greatest desire of humanity. That's the only salvation for the future of the world.
All right, yeah. So I asked Gregory, actually I didn't ask him before about his disability. He said you can't see with your clothes on. So, and I just laid low and left it like that. But Gregory, and I did ask you, I don't know, I just wondered, because we all wonder, with whatever illnesses or that we go through, myself included. So my foot hurts me today, and I didn't run. And so I asked him, and he said,
okay, I've had deep vein thrombosis in both legs, and one resulted in pulmonary embolism, which resulted in pulmonary fibrosis. I have curvature of the spine, degenerative arthritis, left knee, arthritis surgery, both feet, repaired broken hip, hammer toe dislocated toe, fractured spine, healed, inguinal hernia and umbilical hernia repaired.
you got a full house.
And that's the reason, I walk down the street, nobody thinks there's anything wrong, but, Achilles accepts me as one of their own, and I'm so happy with that and with them. They're such wonderful people, the staff, the volunteers, Dick Traum, that they just been, and all the other members. And I've roomed with the Freedom Team people, and we've done the Boston Marathon, Chicago, Detroit with that particular group, and I've loved every minute of it.
We've been involved in supporting and you showing content and Dick's on our website. They're involved with our Peace Day event as well. They share some video of things that they're doing with children from the Achilles organization. We've been part of the Walter Reed outreach that they do with the returning soldiers who have lost limbs. Great organization. This is a big honor. Gene Fish, thank you very much for sharing that. Gene's a volunteer. And volunteer, I guess, for you. He's been assigned, and this is a beautiful thing. Thank you, Gregory, so much. Gregory Gallo.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.